Hey guys, this is Bo. We're back in the house again. Listen, man, there's programs all over this fine country that are doing such great things for college. Right now, we got the University of Montana Western's head football coach, Tommy Lee. How you doing, Coach?
Great, thanks. Great.
So your season has been very good so far.
Well, yeah, we're pretty pleased with the work we're getting out of our kids, and we've actually been able to keep quite a few in the program. So we've got some great kids. They're a little young. Last year we were really young, and we retained a bunch of those players, so they're coming around right now.
Now, how many kids did you bring back?
About 90.
Wow.
90 kids. Yeah, 90 kids came back this year. We had 90 in the spring. We lost about 10 and gained about 10 over the Christmas break last year, so we were able to retain quite a few kids.
Now, just for everybody to let everybody know on the program you have going on there right now, could you fill us in a little bit and sort of educate us before we go into the season?
Sure. As far as what type of styles we run, or did you want just the program in general?
Just the program in general. We'll go into the style in just a second.
Sure. We've got about, right now, we started camp with about 160 kids in our whole fall program. So we have a lot of kids from all over the place. We're a pretty diverse group, mostly Montana kids with Idaho, Oregon, a couple California, Utah. We've got quite a few from Utah, Washington, and Hawaii. Got a lot from Hawaii.
Well, yeah, you got that program out there, a Division I program that's just taking names. They got a chance of getting a Heisman Trophy winner out of the Hawaiian team.
You bet. He's quite a fantastic quarterback.
Now, Coach, as far as going into the season now, you've got your 3-1 in the record. You got Montana coming up. You got Rocky Mountain. You've got MSU Northern. You've got some big programs coming to the house. Yeah,
we played Northern and did okay against them, but we got Carroll this weekend, and they're obviously as good as advertised. I mean, they've won the national championship, quite a few times the last 5 years, and it's a fun game. We enjoy playing them it's in Helena, and so we're going to take the show on the road and see how we do against a very good football team.
Now, as far as go back on there, you got Eastern Washington. As far as that setups there, what are kind of things you've learned from that loss that you're bringing forward and the kids are instilling for themselves?
Well, I'll tell you, offensively, we've got quite a few players that haven't had a lot of experience playing football, and our kids they did a great job as far as going out and trying to compete with that level. It wasn't like we were scared at all. We respected our opponent and tried to go out and compete with those guys. And defensively, we had a lot of guys with not a lot of experience. So it was great to get out there and go play a Division I AA level and see what we could do against those guys.
I think it's kind of impressive that a lot of the Division II programs are coming along to the point where people are starting to recognize the programs and the fact that there's a lot of 1 AA's out there that fear Division IIs now.
Yeah, the Grizzlies have always been real strong with football in Montana. And, they get a lot of great recruits out of Montana, so it's great that those kids get the opportunity to get a little bit of press and on the national level and get some recognition. So yeah, I agree. It's fantastic that they get to compete at that level.
You get the TV cameras, you get the sports announcers talking about it. I'm sure recruiting helps out too when people identify. I've seen that program. Yeah, I know who they are. It's got to feel pretty good when you walk into a household that they recognize exactly who you are and what kind of program you've put together. Yeah,
they do such a great job all over the place. It's great for the Montana kids. They get to go travel around the country and play in different areas of the country when they go to the playoffs.
Now, as far as what you run now with the program that you have, as far as the upcoming games as they're winding down, its season always goes by, either too fast or too slow, depending on your opinion. What are kind of things that you're trying to set up now for yourselves?
Well, I'll tell you, it's tough with our conference because we play everybody. We got a really tough conference with Carroll, Northern, Tech, Eastern, Oregon, and Rocky. We're all on about the same level right now, so getting a couple of wins is big, and then you end up having to play them everybody again. So, the prep work is less, but there's just so much stuff that you're going to see, and you still got to prepare, and then now they can kind of prepare for you again. So you can't hold anything back. You got to let it all out, and then just try to go at it again. So
I think
it's a tough league.
Well, what makes it kind of tough is that I've noticed that in your conference here that you play the same people twice, where a lot of other conferences, they may only see their arch enemy once.
Right. Yeah. No, we get to go at her twice, which is great for the conference because it cuts costs down, and it's nice for the fans too because you get to see them home and away. But it's not like that every year we'll have to go travel 5 hours. I mean, to the nearest competitor, we're an hour away from one and 2 hours away from Helena, and our longest road trip is 9 hours that we go to Eastern Oregon. So it's really fortunate that we're in the conference we're in. There's been some talk about maybe combining the conferences with the South Dakota, North Dakota schools and trying to compete with them. But with our conference right now, it's real nice as far as cost goes.
The nice thing
and the competition's still there.
Oh, well, absolutely, because you're in the fishing pond, and everybody gets a chance. And I'm sure you're well scouted. I'm sure every one of the coaches know almost every move. So it's more or less the Jimmies and Joes that got to execute to make the win happen. You bet.
It comes down to personnel, that's for sure.
Now, as far as the changes from you being a quarterback and playing in the game to now coaching, what are kind of some of the things you've seen change along the way?
Oh, the speed of the game. The athletes everybody lifts now. Shoot, even the kickers lift. So it's pretty amazing as far as how fast the game's played now. And then, just how much difference there is in the X's and O's and how effective the passing game is now. And so it changes the defense. And yet some teams can, still, because they're the odd man out, they still effectively run the option and things like that. So it's evolved into quite a broad spectrum, both defensively and offensively.
I think you speak very correctly on that. I know you have. As far as the speed factor in the game, we saw that against Michigan when Michigan played Oregon and played Appalachian State,
right,
where the speed was the element in the game, and Michigan was just too slow. And we saw that big matchup between Penn State and Michigan, where it was just two big guys going at it. And I think the program that you're running and other ones across the country, focusing extensively a lot on speed, is really, really changing the face of football right now.
Yeah, and I tell you what, the speed not only at the skill positions, but the offensive lines and the defensive lines. I mean, there's some defensive linemen now, the D tackles, that are as fast as quite a few running backs. So, the whole speed has just increased greatly.
Well, when you played in the CFL, you probably saw a lot of that speed adjustment because I'm sure it was like night and day between college and pros.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like watching a high school game and then watching a college football game.
And I'm sure they hit harder too.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, Tim Richardson was a running back the year after the Giants win, and I had a chance to talk to him, and he said that he was one of the fastest one in school. On the first run, one of the first two runs he had for New York Giants, he was taking the outside, swinging outside, and he looked right behind him. And I don't remember the athlete's name, but there was a 7-foot, 360-pound lineman right on his back, and he sat there running as hard as he could. Oh, my God, this is going to hurt.
Yeah. Sometimes you have a sinking feeling that your body's not going to be able to handle it. But it's amazing what the human body can be trained to do now, I tell you.
Well, it's just amazing how well you coaches are as far as in the league and what you're doing for these athletes here. As far as your program goes, where do you see your program going in the next couple of years?
Well, we've I guess the main thing we're trying to do is to continue to have the success we're having this year, in the next few years, and do a good job of trying to get, just like everybody else, do a good job trying to get the best recruits we can and get our guys, their education and continue to have, the numbers are huge for our school. We're a small campus. We only got about 1,200 kids on our campus, and if we can bring in about 160 football players every fall and continue to have a high graduation rate and get the kids their education and